Hi, my name is Chizotam. I'm a lawyer, I work in Lagos, and I'm just going to share with you about my experience with healthcare in Nigeria. As a woman, it's actually really interesting. I've had cases where I've had to get physically examined, and I remember just always feeling very uncomfortable when it's a male doctor that's assigned to check me out because I'm always, on edge asking myself, is this normal? Where am I expecting him to examine? What is crossing the limits? And with women, I've always felt more comfortable because you know that a woman understands the sensitivities of these things and is more cautious as she would be if she was the one being examined. I've had a case where I was being referred to a dermatologist at a particular hospital, and unfortunately, because it was a specialist, it had to be a man who was a Nigerian. And before he examined me, I recall he had to call in a female nurse to be in the room, just be there, and that made me feel more comfortable, knowing that there was someone else who was there, and I know that he couldn't, do anything funny. But I just know that I've always preferred it being a woman because I've heard a lot of stories, of horror stories of women who have been molested and assaulted by the male doctors. A friend of mine was sharing the other day how she knows someone who was going for physiotherapy, and the therapist was meant to be, checking or massaging her knees, and his hand was just going places where it shouldn't have been, and how that's sort of scarred her. And it just reminded me of all the many stories I've heard of women in Nigeria having to go for examinations of their bodies and being assaulted, being touched. Sometimes they don't even know because they might not have been informed in advance where they were going to be checked. Imagine doing a chest or a check on your chest and you're not sure where is allowed, where is not allowed, but just feeling very violated at the end of the examination. And it just makes me feel very nervous. If I'm going to ever get checked, if I'm going to a hospital, I always want to know, can I get a female doctor to check me out instead? And I think a lot of women avoid going for examinations because they think it will be a male doctor, given that, in medicine in Nigeria, it's mainly male dominated. And so I feel like women would feel more comfortable if they could go somewhere where they were guaranteed that it would be a female doctor who would be examining them, because they know that a woman would understand the sensitivities. And even just explaining something they're going through is something like explaining something to someone who experiences the same issues that you do, the same bodily functions, or the same just the same things as you do. It's like you can't really explain what it's like to a male doctor to experience your period or menstruation, or the pain and all the many ways your body changes during ovulation, during the different cycles that a woman goes through. But when you meet with the female doctor, she understands, not from her medical theoretical knowledge, but from just her experience as a woman. And so I feel like, it's become necessary to have spaces that are run by women, for women, where women can go and feel comfortable, feel free. There's no anxiety, no worry of being assaulted or being molested. Everything is done professionally. And so it's just very important to have these spaces.